Yeah. Look. Put it in here. Put it in here, bub. Put the. Yeah. Alright. Yep. Hold on. Turn it on. Turn it on.
This was blue one.
The red one. No, you ain't trying nothing. Yeah. Look. Put it in here. Put it in here, bub. Put the. Yeah. Alright. Yep. Hold on. Turn it on. Turn it on.
This was blue one.
The red one.
It was at this moment Stephon knew he'd messed up. A young Stephon with his two sons. The very definition of budding new beginnings. We followed this family for some time now, and we were excited to see what destiny has in store for them. During the afternoon hunt, this adult male has procured a rather large, common cupboard trash bag. An interesting feat for this young buck, who was just learning to stalk prey about 6 months ago. His female companion has gone to a nearby department store to collect a few needed edible foodstuffs. In an attempt to entertain his rather unruly young, and showing them something they've never seen before, as desperate fathers often do, Daddy throws all caution to the wind. Safety first is a standing rule, but today is a new day, and will be the exception. This is to the detriment of Stephon, whose face is practically boiling over with bubbling excitement, or being blissfully unaware of the imminent threat of danger that is soon to come upon him. After not thinking through one single act within his plan, which involves many carefully arranged parts and details, he had Alfie, following a short crash course in how to do so, rev up the vacuum cleaner. And it did exactly what it was designed to do: suck up air. The only problem was that this vacuum did its job both too well and too soon. It was at this crucial moment Stephon knew he'd messed up. He'd messed up big time. But the striking difference was that this was no milk on the floor. Much unlike the 30-second incident that transpired last evening involving an overturned half-gallon bucket of cow's milk, this conundrum was one that Benji and Alfie, only 2 and 4 years old, didn't necessarily have the mental bearings available to help in solving. It was now apparent to Stephon that he needed to get out of this sticky situation on his own. So, as every man does with a one-track mind against impossible odds, he tried. And he failed. Miserably. Abruptly and definitively, Stephon found out that he too suffered from an overwhelmingly common chronic condition found in 1 in 3 men around the world. Acute failure to make smart decisions without a woman around. As the vacuum cleaner suction system began to quickly and methodically take its toll, something like a boa constrictor on the garbage bag he'd so neatly tucked himself into, his body began to conform itself to the shape of a germinating pigment. His legs began to arrogantly dig themselves further and further into his chest. At this point, he logically inferred that this was in fact the time to turn off the machine that was so forcefully constricting his breathing, not to mention the free movement of his limbs and extremities. But in the ensuing chaos, Alfie had forgotten which button to push, and Benji, in his early age, barely knew any English, and quite frankly frightened by the whole matter, ran for the hills. At this point, his evolutionary fight or flight response kicked in. Stephon's initial instinct was to flee, But instead of managing to get himself free, he realized that all the time he'd spent thinking about what to do before he executed his plan gave the vacuum cleaner ample time to suck up all the remaining air that was left in the bag. In trying to break free, he consigned himself to the opposite outcome. He fell over backwards, and the last bit of excess oxygen remaining at his disposal dissipated into the black hole that was the snout of the vacuum he once held so confidently. At this point, Stephon knew he was probably going to leave the physical world altogether. This first brush with mortality would most certainly be his last, all for the sake of a YouTube gag, in front of his impressionable children no less. It pained him to think that the last memory that the tender loving eyes of his children would witness would be him, in a self-curated position, suctioned onto the common garment of a garbage bag, the same one he so jubilantly donned upon himself, engaging in overflowing community laughter just 3 agonizing minutes ago. My, how the tables had turned. His whole life flashed before his eyes now, all 21 years of it. With his last ounce of breath, he commanded Alfie to turn off the machine that seemed so poised to take his life. It didn't happen. The next 4 seconds would become the longest of his life. The sunlit room began to grow dim. The light was leaving his weary eyes. Then, when he least expected it, as well as every YouTube onlooker, a miracle. Alfie, under unfathomable pressure to save the life of his once towering father, unplugged the once everyday household appliance turned vile, man-eating machinery. Stephon learned a valuable lesson that day. Even in the face of rampant stupidity, life always finds a way.
You ain't trying nothing.